Hello, everyone. I know I am just a couple minutes late, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Um, Anybody want to guess why I'm a couple minutes late? I'm just going to, while you're thinking about that, I'm going to call myself up. Oopsie, I did it on my computer, and I'll just mute it. So there we go. So, hi, Sheila. So who can guess why I was late? You're not going to guess. I don't think you're going to guess. It's not because I was at the food trucks. I was, but that's not why. It's not because I was goofing off beforehand. Nope, not why. It's sort of because I was cleaning up my desk so that I had a kind of a clean spot to work on tonight. But the real reason is because tonight I'm going to be working again with Enduring Beauty, and I couldn't find the stamp set. It was buried. It was actually in a paper pumpkin box off to the side, and so I was frantically searching for it. I don't really need it except for the sentiments, and I do have other sentiments, so I could have done without it, but I'm not anyways. So welcome for those of you who may be just finding me for the first time. My name is Sharon Rogers, and let me start that over. My name is Sharon Rogers, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wells, Maine in the United States. And every Friday I like to come live to create something for you, whether it is a card or a 3D object, something. So I like to be here live every Friday night, and if I can't be live, I videotape something in advance. So welcome. And I'm going to turn myself down now so that you can see my work surface. And there's my computer, and there's my water. And let's see if we can just get my phone to focus where it should on my glass mat studio. Got some things off to the side here. That's all right. I need my well, I don't need this. That's an old dimensional sheet. I don't need that anymore. So I think we're all set to get started here. Let me see if I can just tip this just a little bit more, get it straightened up. Yeah, that's pretty good, I think. So for Tune In Tuesday, and again, for those of you who may not know what Tune In Tuesday is, on the second and fourth Tuesday, I go on my YouTube channel and present you with a full class. Usually 3 projects, sometimes 4. And there's if you want the class kit, then you simply place an order in my online store, and I send you the supplies to create those cards. Well, on Tuesday, I made these 3 cards. This is the first card that I made. And basically, I use the Enduring stamp set and just the stamp set. So I embossed in white. I did stamp tone on tone in the back here, and then just added one of the sentiments from the stamp set with some summer splash ribbon and some beautiful adhesive backed sequins trio. And then I decided to add in the masks. So Enduring Beauty debuted in our last catalog, and it's a stamp set. Also comes with coordinating dies, and also comes with a series of masks, which I'm going to show you tonight. So it comes with 5 masks so that you can pretty easily color and shade an image. So as I was mentioning on Tuesday, this was inspired by a nightgown I had as a child. Boy, did I love the day when I started wearing pajamas so that I wasn't like all getting, because we used to wear full gowns when we were kids, and man, you know how it all bunches up around your waist, and anyway, so now I'm a pajama girl. But these pajamas this gown was my favorite, and so that's what inspired this, because it had blue roses and it was really pretty. And then the third card was a card that used the stamp set, the masks to color all this, and then the dies. So there was a large die here that cuts out that, and we just cut that image in half and split it up into the corners there. So that was the Tune In Tuesday class, and I'm going to link this, make sure that the link is in the description of this video afterwards. I didn't quite have enough time to put that in right now. But tonight I'm not going to use the stamp at all. Well, I will probably use sentiment stamps, but I'm not going to use the stamp set per se. I'm going to use the masks, and I'm going to show you a little something different in using those masks. You'll get quite a bit of a different look. I'm talking off camera because I haven't even had the time to cut my cardstock or anything. So for those of you who said you liked the improv that we did last week, well, great, because you're going to get it again this week. So I'm going to cut this down, and I'm going to cut it to, I think, just under 3 3/4. So 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. That just about fits that particular image of these flowers. So again, I'm not stamping with it. And in order to use the masks, I'm using my Glass Mat Studio, but you can use, just a piece of paper, whatever. But it's a good idea to kind of anchor this down. So I'm just going to take a glue dot and kind of put one on the back here. Let's see if I can, whoops, didn't come off. Hold on. There we go. And I'm just going to set that right there. All right. You know what? I should probably show you the other technique, because I think I used the glass mat on the other day. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to pull in a piece of paper here. All right. Now, when I bring in my masks, you start, and they're ordered. So I'm going to start with number 1, and I just added Sharpie because these little embossed numbers, they're hard to read and hard to find quickly. So I need to decide how I want this on my card front. And I think I'm going to go something like this. And I'm more or less centering it there. I don't want this to move, so I'm going to bring in a little bit of washi tape. You can use painter's tape, whatever you have. I happen to have a lot of washi tape, so that's what I'm going to use. And I'm just going to put it down in a couple spots here. Now, these masks were meant to line up together, and you can see that there's a notch up in a corner. And if you stack them all together, the notches all line up, which is great, because now what I'm going to do to help me, because believe it or not, it's not easy to line them up just trying to find where they go, and especially when you're not using the stamp set like I'm not tonight. So I'm just going to kind of put this over here. I'm going to mark a pen on the scrap piece of paper, and I sort of know where everything is now. All right, so now I want to bring in some ink, and I decided I was going to use some of my favorite in colors. I'm going to use Petunia Pop and Peach Pie and Shy Shamrock, and if I can find it, I'm going to use my other pink by Pretty in Pink. I had it out, but of course, when I was turning things upside down, I couldn't find it. All right, well, you know what? We're just going to do without it. I don't need it. I wonder where it went, though. It's gone somewhere. I'm sure I'll find it the second I start using this. So I'm just going to use Petunia Pink. And I'm going to ink it up, and I'm going to just take the first little bit off on my scratch paper, my Glass Mat Studio, just so I don't get any hard blotches. And in fact, I want this to be very, very light. So I'm going to put my hands more towards the back of my brush handle. And that necessitates, and that just results in a pretty light coating of pink here. All right, now if I take that off, I close up my ink before I get into trouble. I certainly can't let it fall into my lap because I'm wearing white pants today. All right, and so you can see it's very, very light. Now if you wanted to go back and darken it, you could darken it. I'm probably gonna make it a little bit darker. And that's the beauty of the inks. You can just line this back up, and it might move slightly because my card underneath might have moved slightly, but at least you know, because of the notch, about where you're dealing. You're supposed to go with it. So now I'm just gonna put a little bit more on. All right, there we go. You can see that a lot more now, right? All right, now number two is a leaf piece. And when you're putting this on, you can kind of see in some spaces. Now I know my notch is somewhere over in this area, right? But I also know that my paper underneath slid a little bit, so I might have to just alter this. You can see some flowers kind of peeking through, so I want to cover those spots up as much as possible. And so now it looks about right. And you can see it's off very, very little there. And where'd my other washi tape go? There we go. Oops, I moved it. Hold on. All right, there we go. And so now I'm going to bring in my Shy Shamrock. I think I might have said Summer Splash before, but I'm using Shy Shamrock tonight. It's another pretty green. It looks like my leaf is kind of going off the edge here. That's all right. I'm gonna figure that out. We just rub-a-dub-dub. How's everybody's week going? What's new? I had a short week because I was sort of on vacation last week, which was very, very nice. And close this up, take my washi tape off. But you know how those short weeks are. They're pretty long sometimes because you're playing catch up. Now I'm going to bring in number 3. And again, I'm going to look, that's about where it goes, and I'm going to just try to cover up those leaves where I see them. I don't want to see anything peeking through my mask. So any strong color, it should just be kind of coming up from underneath. So now I'm going to take my, you can see these, the flowers again. So I'm going to take my thumb and put it right in my petunia pop. I think this is one of those nights. I don't know. I think I'm going to need ice cream after this. I probably needed ice cream before too. Who doesn't need ice cream? It's summer. Ice cream is a staple. All right, let's see how this looks. We can just take a peek if we want to just pick up one piece. Ooh, that's nice and bright. That might be a little too bright for me. I might have to come back in with my number 1 and get them a little bit closer. You know what? No, I'm not gonna, because I think this looks a little bit, it's kind of got an artistic flair to it that I wouldn't normally do. Personally, I like it best with the stamp, the lines from the stamp, but you know what? I don't always get it exactly how I want it. Now that looks a lot off. So as I did with my Tune In Tuesday, if I want to really match them up nicely, I'm gonna stack these two right here, figure out where my flower was originally, which is right there, and then I'm going to just take that top mask off, and this is where the bottom one goes. Another use for those notches. Even this gets you the general vicinity, but to be really precise, it helps to lay them on top of each other. And just going to add some more. Now, you could add a different color on here, and I might actually show you that in a little bit. To clean the masks, all you need to do is run them under water. They clean up very nicely. I pat them dry because sometimes, like this little guy, he wants to come up if you like rub back and forth. So I just pat him gently when I'm trying to wash. And let's see, oh, there we go. So see, you have something that looks like this. And then I'm gonna do one more mask. And this is the number 5 mask. And again, this one looks a little bit like I might need a little bit of help lining it up, just because there are no lines from my stamp. So it does make it a little bit more difficult. So again, I'm gonna pick this up, figure out where those big flowers that I first did go. That's where they go. I'm gonna take my tape. Oops, my mask's unlined up. I'm gonna do that again. Let's see, right there. So now I'm just gonna pick up the edge of this one. And you can see as I've been going along with my masks, it has shifted a little bit more and more each time. But it's a whole lot better than trying to do, like, I don't know which way this goes. So at least it gives me the general idea. And now I'm going to come back in, and I think I'm going to come in with Berry Burst this time. It's just a bit darker than Petunia Pop. And so we're going to come in here and really make those centers pop here, even though we're not using Petunia Pop. All right, let's see what we got going on. So I don't know the proper art term for this, but it definitely does have, it's probably not impressionistic. I shouldn't even make up things that I don't know anything about, but it definitely has a much different look without the stamped image lines. There is a stamping technique called no line stamping that mimics this, but this truly is no line because there were no stamp lines in this whatsoever. So you just kind of have this, I don't know, maybe it is impressionistic look. If somebody knows, type it in the answer. I don't know, and I shouldn't keep talking about things I don't know. So one of the other things that you can do here is, and I'm going to clean my mask so I can show you what I mean in real time. So this is just the chamois that comes with the Glass Mat Studio. And I'm going to bring my mask back in, and I'm going to bring in some peach pie, because this is all nice and pink, but I love the flowers that are pink and kind of an orangey yellow too. So I'm going to line those back up and get my washi tape back out. Kind of anytime I do pink and yellow or pink and orange, I think Dunkin' Donuts. Now, if you are not from New England or some of, not every state I know has Dunkin' Donuts. So it's kind of a New England thing. And so I'm just going to warm up these flowers just a little bit with some peach pie over the top. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see how that turned out. Oh yeah, see how it makes them a little bit, I don't know, different. So that's what I have anyway. So let's just make this into a card now. So we're going to need some layers now. I do notice that this kind of goes right to the edge. So probably what I'm going to do to make it look like that was intentional when it wasn't, I'm going to trim all the other edges just to make it look like it was planned. So I'm here not only to show you some stamping ideas, but how to fix some mistakes or what might be perceived as mistakes. This was a mistake. I intended to center it for sure. So now I'm just kind of getting the flowers all right to the edge. And I'm going to pay attention to the size. So for instance, this is 3 3/8 by 3 3/8 by, well, we're going to make it 4 5/8. 3 3/8 by 4 5/8. So what colors should we mat under this? We probably should use a Shy Shamrock, I imagine. We can go over and get some Shy Shamrock. So we have, I don't have a little piece of Shy, oh yes I do. I have a little piece of Shy Shamrock. So I keep my scraps in here for the most part so I can easily dig them out. And so 3 3/8 by 4 3/8, is that what that was? I've already forgotten. So it's 4 5/8. So 3 3/8, if I add 1/4 of an inch, that's going to be 3 5/8. And 4 5/8, if I add 1/4 of an inch, is 4 7/8, which is 2 marks before the 5. All right. So we're just gonna put this, oh, that looks so nice together. And then I think we'll end up putting that onto a piece of, I think, Petunia Pop, because the primary color in there is the pink. So let's go ahead and just put this in here. Hey Sheila, are you going to White Lake tomorrow? Sheila and I go to the same church, and we're kind of doing a trip to a state park that's over in New Hampshire, and so I was just wondering if she was going with us. I don't know how many people are going. We just did an informal sign up. If you want to go get tickets at the state park. If you don't want to go, then don't. Oh, Sheila's not going. I'm just glad that the weather's going to be nice. The humidity seems to have gone away, which is lovely. So there we have our card. I think I'm going to put this layer up on dimensionals. Ooh, yeah. Let's see. Those of you on my mailing list I hope you saw the survey that I sent out today. Looking at doing a fall retreat. And one of the questions is, which date do you prefer? So if you could respond by July 31st, that would be great. Now, this actually looks like a really nice note card to me, but we could put on, put something else on here for a sentiment. Let's go with, you mean so much to so many. I don't know, that's a weird sentiment to me. I'm not going to do that one. I'm not going to do that one. How about holding you close in my heart? All right, we're going to use that one. So I need a block. And you know, when I was looking for my Shy Shamrock scrap, I noticed I had one of these. Ooh, that's way too big. Can't do that. Cannot do that. All right, so we have a choice. We can put something in here. We can maybe even emboss white on black cardstock. Let's try that. Let's see how that will work. I mean, I know it'll work, but I don't know how it'll look. Ooh, that'll make that kind of stand out, I think. So if I look at my stamp, I need something that's a scrap that's roughly, I don't know, 1.25 inches by 2. All right, let's see. Let me just cut this over at the side here. Will this fit? Yes, it will. It's actually way too wide. So let's go with 1 inch. All right, so if we were to stamp that, let's go ahead and emboss. So I don't know if any of you have tried. Stampin' Up! Has new embossing powders. Obviously, if you have plenty of white embossing powder, you don't need to buy new embossing powder. I don't necessarily have first-hand knowledge about how it embosses compared to the old embossing powder. I just know that if you need embossing powder, they come in trios like they did before. This is the white, clear, and black. So I'm going to get the white out here. And especially because I've been touching this sheet, I'm going to get my reverse tweezers out and my embossing buddy that comes in the Embossing Editions toolkit. Don't worry that this is adding like a little white coating. We'll get that off afterwards. I'm going to take my Versamark pad, which just is an ink that stays wetter longer, allows you to have a tone-on-tone look, but also to emboss. Let's put that down there. Pick it up. I'm going to try to touch the front of my cardstock as little as possible because the oil's on my hand, especially, you know, in the summertime, the embossing powder will stick to it. So you want to try to minimize how much you touch it. So there we go. We've got that. I don't see really any strays. That's good. Bring in my embossing gun, my heat tool, and let's fire it up. I'm going to just let it heat up for just a second. Notice I'm very aware of my embossing powder over here. I'm not getting my heat tool right next to it because I don't want that to be a tray full of melted powder. there we go. It's all bright white, so it's all done. And I think I've mentioned it before, I always take the time to unplug my heat tool. They say you should unplug appliances you don't use all the time anyway, because they're still drawing electricity even when they're in the off position. But I like to unplug it because things drop around here a lot, and if the cat kind of, you know, walks over something, she might or he might trigger it, and I don't want it to be on when I'm not here and then come home to a burned down house. That wouldn't be fun. So now we just have this little piece that we can put in right here, or we can put it up here, or down here, or up here. I tend to go with down to the right. So let me go ahead and get my dimensionals back out. And we could, let's see what we could do. Let's see, do we want to put in some ribbon? Let me see, I've got some ribbon right here. Let's see what this would look like underneath it. Sometimes you just gotta say no to some embellishments. Sometimes you gotta say yes. So if I just did this kind of loopy thing, I think it's too much. I think it competes with the flowers too much. So I'm gonna say no. I'm just gonna put this up on dimensionals, and then I'm gonna get some gems out. Although, you know what? This really isn't a gem card, is it? Holding You Close in My Heart. That's kind of like a sympathy card. I think I better stop. I think I better stop with that one. Now on the inside, we could do these flowers again, just in a much lighter version. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. And let's see what I'm going to bring back in this piece. And we're going to cut a piece down so it's the right length. And let's see, 3 5/8. Let's go 1.5, I think. This might be wrong. Let me see. Yeah, that's wrong. I don't really want to math today, so I'm not gonna. So that's fine. That's fine right there. So we're just gonna, again, put a little piece on it. And because this is the inside and I'm gonna be writing over it, I don't want my colors to be very dark. So I'm gonna just bring in my masks. Here's 2 and here's 5. See if we can find the other ones. Here's 1. All right, I've got some of them somewhere. Well, let's start with number 1 anyways. So I would just kind of come in here. I'm actually not going to do this all right now, only because, and I'm going to leave a little bit more space down here, because if you look at the card front, this there are leaves that kind of come down here, and that was the problem with the other one that we had. So I'm going to go ahead and cheat it up a little bit. But just by, and remember this now had some berry burst on it. I'm just gonna go very, very lightly because we want to write in the back of this. So this is gonna be pretty light. And then I'm gonna add the leaves and so on. So this is the last step I'm going to do. Then I'm going to let you go so that you can go create and craft on your own. But I'm just going to show you how light it's going to be. Just enough so that you can see it's the same image on the inside as on the front. Just lighter so that you can write on over it. You know, I could even just leave it like that and it would be pretty. And just put that right on the inside. Just like that with some handwriting over it. So that is our card for tonight. And if you have not played with masks yet, they are a whole lot of fun. They really, really are. And they're very simple to use. And generally, because I've got my brushes out, I will create a lot of things all at once. Just so I don't have to clean my brushes. So I'll create more before I have to clean these again. And it just saves me some time cleaning them. I don't clean them all the time, but I do have a shortage right now of brushes. So like if I wanted to change to purple, pink's not too far from purple, but I don't want the pink to contaminate it. So, or if I needed blue, I would want them clean. So typically every few weeks or so, I will clean my brushes. And to do that, you just run it underneath the tap and kind of, I'm not going to do it now because my hands will get all inky, but just sort of rub with your fingers and thumbs, just getting that ink. You'll see it start to run clearer. It won't be crystal clear. It won't be perfectly white when you get done. The ink does stain it a bit, but you can just let it air dry and then it's ready to go. I washed these earlier today and they were ready to go tonight. So, all right, let me turn you around just so I can say goodbye. Thanks for joining me. And again, if you want the class kit that went with Tune In Tuesday, so that I will provide you with the cardstock and embellishments that you need to create 2 of each of the cards that you saw. And I had mentioned it was only going to be 1 of the ones I did tonight, but I'll just do 2 of every card. Then place an order of $35 or more in my online store by Sunday. So this Sunday night is the deadline, and then I will get that to you. And if your order is $50 or $60 or more, I'm going to include a package of those adhesive backed sequin trios. So anyway, thank you so much. Don't forget, we're in the final days of my fundraiser for A House for Me. So anyone purchasing a kit from our kits collection, the proceeds from that kit, my commission from that kit gets donated to A House for Me, which helps individuals with intellectual and developmental delays and disabilities. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.